Hey friend, how are you? I wanted to come live today to give some of my tips for staying productive and managing your time. I talk a lot about time management, which of course we can't manage time. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. We can only manage ourselves and what we do with that time. That being said, time is our only commodity that we cannot get back. Once it's wasted, it's wasted. Unlike money, where if you swallow a stupid pill and you make a stupid investment, or if you spend frivolously and the money's gone, you can always make back money. But once you spend or waste time, it's gone. You can't reclaim it. So we really need to sometimes just take a step back and say, whoa, like, how am I organizing my day? So, a few tips, especially to you moms out there, and I'm guilty of this, and it's a continuous work in progress. Say no. Say no when people ask you to do things, or you get more and more tasks added to your plate. And especially if you're a people pleaser, you're going to just say, "Oh, sure, I could do that. Sure, I could do that." And then you've got so much on your plate, and you're like, ah. And then self care goes out the window. So remember, everything you say yes to, something is getting a no. So learn to say no more, get your boundaries. And I know that's hard for a lot of people. And sometimes when I would say no, and then I would feel guilty and give like a long list of why. Well, I can't do it because blah, 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 blah. You don't owe anybody a reason, okay? Permission to not give reasons, permission to not feel guilty. And somebody once told me no is a complete sentence. I I was like, ooh, no is a complete sentence. All right, I got this. So, and if you have trouble saying no in the moment, just say, well, let me check my schedule. Let me check with my spouse. Let me check whatever, and I'll get back to you. And then you can always say, if you can't say it at the moment. But ideally, you're going to say, thank you for thinking of me, but I really can't take on anything else at this point. So turn off your email alerts, turn off your social media alerts, because we all know the phone chimes, your laptop, the phone, the iPad, whatever you've got going on, and you're just like looking all over the place, ready to answer these alerts. So turn off your email alerts, turn off social media. If you have not seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix yet, I highly suggest you see that movie. It explains how this stuff is highly addicting, as if we didn't know that, but it is, and how they design it to be so. And so it's a good movie. Social Dilemma on Netflix. Check it out. So ideally, you get up in the morning and you don't check your phone. What we all do, right? Most of us do. I'm guilty of it many times. But if you've got a morning ritual, a morning routine that you like to stick to, like if you made a promise to yourself to start working out, or spending some quiet time reading, personal development or your Bible, whatever you do as part of your foundation of your day, looking at your phone first. Not all the time, but a lot of times you will just won't get to that ritual. You'll see an email that, oh my gosh, you need to answer. You'll see a post that, oh my gosh, you need to whatever reply to, or inboxes, and you want to get back to people because, my gosh, you don't want them to think that you're not answering them in a timely manner, whatever it is that you're feeling and going through. So if you get into the habit of not looking at your phone first until you've done your important stuff to feed your soul, to feed into your self-care, your self-respect. Like, for instance, I get up, first thing I do in the morning, drink a big glass of water with my supplement, and then I write in my gratitude journal. So that leads me to my next tip. Um, Start writing down a list in your gratitude journal, and you don't have to spend the money for a journal. You can just write this in a notebook, and don't do it digitally. I know we're in the digital age, but there is something about the brain hand connection when you physically write it in a journal. Okay, so just get a book. It could be 50 cents composition notebook over at, I don't know, CBS, whatever. So write down your list of 3 outcomes of how you want your day to come. Like, what are the 3 things that would happen today? If they happen today, would make today great. Okay, and so that kind of keeps your mind focused on what you want to achieve, so you just don't go through your day reacting to everything. All right. Um, live by the 2 minute rule. This is almost like the Pomodoro technique, and you're going to have to Google that. Pomodoro, as in Italian for tomato, technique is a way of getting things done productively. There's a Pomodoro, there's a journal for that, the productivity journal. There's lots of different journals, and one size doesn't fit all. I'll tell you a quick story. At one point in my life, I was color coding to time block my journal. So I had highlighters in all different colors, and I would highlight my planner. Okay, this block of time I'm going to, um, homeschool. This block of time I'm going to work on my business. This block of time I'm going. Everything had a color, right? And I loved it because I'm geeky like that. Okay, and it was working fine until yeah, children. So if you've got a young one, they don't care what color code time block you're working on when they need something. It's constant interruption all day long, and then it was a mess. And then I was feeling frustrated. So I realized not every planner system, not every way of trying to manage your productivity is going to work for everybody. It's individualized. So if you live by the 2 minute rule, this is somewhat like the Pomodoro technique. You want it, you can do low hanging fruit first, uh, accomplish a task that would just take 2 minutes and cross it off your list. That's a big sense of accomplishment, right? But then there's the also school of thought where Eat That Frog, it's a book by Brian Tracy, taking from some Mark Twain story or something Mark Twain said, where if you eat the frog first thing in the morning, the rest of your day is downhill from there. So if you procrastinate putting off that really hard project or task or phone call that you have to make or email that you have to write, if you do that first, it's like, sense of relief. And then your day is easier right from there. So I don't know what is going to work for you. You have to try both. You have to try crossing off the low hanging fruit first, senses a lot of accomplishment and saving something for later, or eat that frog and do your worst, biggest task first. Now, if you're crossing off the easy ones and saving the hard stuff for later, make sure you do that later in the day, because if you're not, obviously that way is not working for you and you're just doing the easy stuff and you just procrastinate more. So all right, so we've got that. um, Find an activity that gives you more energy and schedule it. This is more in the realm of self-care, but when I talk to my clients all the time, I tell them that they need to implement self-care, and then they always say, but I don't have the time. Okay, so this is going to help you find the time for self-care. But trust me when I say, when you put yourself first, you're going to have more time for everything else. You're going to feel more energy, less fatigue. You're not going to feel stressed, bitterness, anxiety, depression, whatever, because if you don't fill yourself up first, all your other relationships, including the tasks that you have to do, are not, they're just not going to go well. So you're going to have to trust me and try it out, that when you practice self-care or something that gives you energy, uh, you're going to have the time to get to the stuff that needs to be done. So another way, somebody I follow, another mentor of mine, says work for 45 minutes and then take a 15-minute break. So if you're working from home behind a computer, maybe every 45 minutes, set like a little alarm. You get up, maybe go outside, have a big glass of water. Um, I don't know, answer a few texts, something, or put on music and dance, something that's going to give you energy before you sit back down to your task, to your computer again for the next, say, 45 minutes. All right, so that's taking more breaks, kind of combined with finding something that gives you more energy, something that fills up your cup. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? So find that, take more breaks, and that's actually going to help you complete your task. All right, checking my notes, and that is, hey Des, how are you? Ninja tips, yes. Yes, she saw the social dilemma. Okay, awesome. So yeah, social media, very addicting and a time suck. Like I'll go to check the weather. 20 minutes later, I have no idea because I saw a notification on something and I went down the rabbit hole. And I still don't know what the weather is. So we need to control our phones and phone addiction. All right, so those are your little time saving, productivity, ninja tip hacks for today. And let me know if that helps. All right, bye.